I'm Mark Altenburg, and I'm running for Moorhead School Board.
What are the most important issues in your race?
I believe that the three most important issues facing Moorhead schools right now is number one, equity. Number two is the high school. And number three, we need to increase community engagement. I think those are the three issues that are really going to define what I do over the next 4 years.
Okay. And how would you address those issues?
Starting with equity, we have a serious disparity in Moorhead schools. In Minnesota, disparity is often described as through the lens of race. And 4 years ago, that's how I began to look at it too. But looking at the statistics, like the World's Best Workforce report that came out and we discussed on Monday night, what I was seeing is the real disparity in Moorhead schools are between students who are on free and reduced lunch and those who belong to the middle class or higher. Those are the correlations that I was able to identify, is that we need to better serve kids in poverty or near poverty. And we can do that through identification of free and reduced lunch and other ways. Some of the models I would bring forward are the full service community school model practice across Minnesota, where you're bringing in nonprofits, you're co-locating county services like social services and public health within the building itself. And then a different model for governance, where the community is invited back into the schools to really have a say and to understand what our kids are facing. Right now, Moorhead Schools is at 40% free and reduced lunch. And we know that some families don't like to fill out that paperwork, so we're probably higher than 40%. That is a real shift in Moorhead. So we need to address how poverty affects education. Second, the high school, we need a new high school. Our third grade is at 600 students, which means by the time they're freshmen, we'll have over 2,200 students in a building that was built in the mid-1960s for right around 1,800 students, before title programs, before everything else. We had a serious overcrowding issue at Ellen Hopkins Elementary just a few years ago, and I understand the stress that it puts on students and staff and teachers, and we have to do whatever we can to work with the community to have a new high school built by right around 2022. We're going to respect the work of the task force, and I don't want to talk about my thoughts and ideas. They're actually going to take a vote and present that to the board. But the options on the table right now are retrofitting the existing site, building an entirely new high school, or having a retrofitted high school and a new high school. The price starts at about $84 million, goes up to about 113. So we have a lot of work to do. We plan to go in front of the people of Moorhead in 2019. The third one, increased community engagement. Really, this is about being very proactive. And an example I'll give. Someone asked me about the gifted and talented programs. I said, we are in a community full of educators. And I gave he happened to be a retired math professor. And I said, you know, there's a 7th or 8th grader out there who would really enjoy meeting with you and talking about advanced mathematics. For us to take money away from other programs and move it into gifted and talented might not make sense if we can bring someone in, let's say an expert in journalism, and we have a child who's interested in journalism. That's that increased community engagement I'm talking about. It's reaching out to the community and saying, come in, work with us. That way we can really focus on increasing services for kids in poverty, maintaining what we have now, and then giving kids who have an interest in automotive or journalism or mathematics or art that boost. And so they can pursue that. They can pursue excellence in the schools. So I think, you know, increased community engagement. I think the one thing that we have lost since I and you, Matt, were kids, we used to have the polling places in the schools, and I'm looking at a way to possibly get the polling places back. I remember those days, you know, seeing my mom and dad come, and I remember parents visiting more, and I remember members of the Lions Club and the JCs coming to the schools. We don't see that much anymore. There's such a focus on security. It's become more insular, and I think the district itself has lost some community engagement. So that would be the third issue, is how do we get the people of Moorhead back into the schools, working with our kids, working with our staff, and really talking to the administration every day, not just when we invite them to come in.
Okay. And what differentiates you from your opponents, and why should someone vote for you?
We had a League of Women Voters Forum, first time we had all sat down. They are wonderful people, and win or lose, I am 100% confident that the Moorhead schools will be in good hands. I think people should vote for me because they think I'm one of the top 3 candidates running, and I look forward to serving them for another 4 years.